Hello lovely people, welcome to my channel. It's Hila here, Saturday Night Stitcher. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be doing a browse through of Burda 10 2022, the October issue. And my garden is still very colorful. We've got some geraniums, some asters over here, some verbena, and I can't remember the name of these tiny little white ones. I think they're called Elysium, which I grew from seed. But I thought this made a really lovely bouquet of flowers. These are so soft and feathery, and wherever you are in the world, I am sending you these flowers and hoping that you're having a fantastic day. Right, so we're just going to pop the flowers right over there, and we're going to grab our line drawings and we're going to get started. So the cover is very much indicative of what to expect inside. There's a huge appreciation of the 60s style, the singing 60s, you know, but mostly I think it's more of the mid 1960s, because this reminds me of the Mary Quant youthful aesthetic. But yeah, let's get into it. Now I have to admit that I don't have a lot of time to do as much sewing, so from this issue there's a very smaller number than usual of things that I'm immediately interested in. So starting off, we've got this really interesting youthful style jacket here, and it's got the scalloped edging, which, to be fair, I've never actually seen scalloped edging on a jacket before, and so I thought that's quite interesting. I've seen it on skirts, I've seen it on tops, but I've never actually thought of using it on a jacket, so that's something different. What I can't tell though is there seems to be an indication of some pockets here. Not necessarily sure how useful those would be, but I feel like this sort of jacket would only work if it is in a statement color, right? And you're wearing it in a very specific way. So that is to say, it's a statement sort of jacket. The skirt, however, I feel like the skirt has got more application for daily wear and possible repeat wearing without any issues. And it's quite cute. It's got this little scallop over here. I mean, just adding those little scallops and making them look neat and using a fabric that's stable enough for it to be able to hold this, you know, is I think you deserve a pat on the back if you manage to do that. And it does look quite fabulous. And this, to me, the skirt is a lot more wearable than the jacket. And then we've got another variation of the skirt, which definitely caught my eye in the preview because I quite like the print. It reminds me of the tile print that I'm quite a huge fan of. But it's got an interesting inbuilt belt with not just a buckle at the center, but it looks like it's got some ornamental buttons over here as well. So again, with the 60s. And then here we've got like this super gigantic voluminous shirt dress. Dare I call it the parachute shirt dress? It's really, really huge. Yeah, I'm keen to see if this is going to be popular in the Burda sewing community. It's personally not my cup of tea. I think it's just so voluminous. I would lose the practicality of being able to wear it. Okay, and then we've got a cutest pie pinafore dress over here with a little bit of a square neckline. I feel like I saw this in, I think it was March or April issue that had a cottagecore section, and so if I was going to make this style of dress, I would be using that one. The only difference is this one's got some little buckles over there. And then the dogs are back, guys. Now, I think the last time that I saw dogs featuring prominently in Burda issues, it was in 2018, and I honestly thought that they were doing a bring your dog to work year, because almost every issue had a photo shoot with a dog in it, and in this issue it's dogs aplenty. So if you're a pet owner, this would be a great issue. Anyway, moving on back to fashion, we've got a lovely jacket here with some big patch pockets right on there, which I think is a very unfortunate placement for patch pockets on the bust area for women. I think for guys, jackets with that, yeah, but for women, it's just not practical. It's not usable, in my opinion. So that was just that. And then this one is the tall pattern, which is really leaning into the 60s style by using the bold prints and the bold colors. And if I may be allowed to just have a very tiny little rant here. So this is a tall pattern, which is drafted for taller people, obviously. And it really bugs me when they use the same model to show the either the petite or the tall pattern, because then you kind of lose sense of the proportions. Because is she a tall person as per the drafting of Burda in a normal, in the Mrs. Range, right? Or is she in the Mrs. range wearing a tall pattern? So I do feel like that throws me off a little bit, and I feel like this one throwed me off a heck of a lot more because of the style of the dress. So it's kind of hard for me to figure out where the hem is going to hit me as the normal dress. But that's a little rant. Gorgeous fabric though. Okay, and then we've got a very simple top with a little keyhole peekaboo detail over here, which is a way of just adding some interesting detail. We have a zipper at the back there. As I said, with this issue, I did find it quite hard to find something that really jumped at me. So this particular top, I don't like the fact that it's got darts on it, and then it's got the high neck that's got the zipper at the back there. I think that zippers that go all the way onto the high neck can be very, very uncomfortable unless you've taken account of them. But again, as you can see that skirt from the beginning, you can see how very versatile it is, particularly without the jacket that would make it into a statement outfit. So, you know, you'd really be able to do a lot with this if you were using this for a capsule wardrobe type scenario. And then for the masterpiece pattern, we've got a jacket that's very similar to one that we've had in the last couple of months, you know, with the lapels, and it's a little bit boxy. So nothing new there. So that's the other thing that I noticed about this issue was I felt like a lot of the patterns, I had seen them very recently in the recent future. In the recent past. Possibly we're going to see them in the recent future. You never know. Okay, and then we have another twist on a trench coat, and this one has got these really extra long sleeve vents over here, and then we've got the well, I think this one is an ornamental one, and then this one is the proper one. So you've got it down there, and then the other one is quite way up here. I've got better Burda trench coat patterns personally. I think that it does look lovely and elegant when done rightly so, but trench coats, I think we get them every 3rd month now with Burda. So cool. And see, another dog. I told you this was like the doggy issue. Another dog. It's like really, really cute. And there's a lot of doggy accessories to sew up. Okay, right, so we're done with the 60s range thingy and the masterpiece, and then we move on to sort of like modern day stuff. And we've got some trousers, which deceptively simple looking. However, they need quilt making level of ability to connect corners and things like that. I just looked at all of these, and I was just like, no, I would just do a straightforward pair of trousers. Thank you very much. And then here they've used a very light colored fabric, and then the detail is in the top stitching that they have done. Not a big fan. Oh, so this is one of the few things that I actually thought I do like, and I could see myself making reasonably in the coming few months, making it in a needle cord. And this is for my girls, obviously. It's a very nice shift dress, very 60s style, and it's got a really nice quirky detail where you take a grosgrain ribbon and you sort of pleat it on itself. It's a very simple thing, but it does create a lovely effect. So I quite liked this one. This one was definitely on my to make, and it's in sizes 122 to 146, of which my girls are 128 at the moment. Okay, and then we've got that gigantic parachute dress. Again, but this time it's been made in like a silk beigey, very neutral color tone. And I can see the aesthetic that might be appealing to some people, but I don't think for autumn generally you want something that is so broad at the hem like that, and you're not wearing any tights, and you get lots of gusts of wind, and this is just going to go up in my estimation. Maybe a summer, like this could be a nice summer beach coverall. That's my opinion on that one. And then we have the simple Burda top, but this time we've given it a curved hem, and it's got a high-low hem at the back. Very, very simple, and again, a lot of neutral colors, some easy patterns to make there. And for the girls, again, you've got a slightly more complex pattern of a gilet, a vest, which you can make in that weather-proof technical fabric. So for those that want to challenge their sewing skills, you've got that for the kids, and then you've got this what do they call these? Adjustable, convertible, that's it, convertible jacket, because you can attach the sleeves on to make it into a jacket, take it off, and you make it into a gilet. Again, using the technical fabrics. Maybe one day I might look into making that. Okay, and then we've got this lovely cropped jacket, and it's sort of like a modern, updated version of a Chanel jacket. That's the way that I see it. But this one has got, look at those clean design lines, because it's got snap fasteners, so you don't have the buttons there, and it doesn't have a zipper, so you haven't got the hardware. And it just looks absolutely gorgeous and really well tailored. So I do like the look of that. Will I be making it anytime soon? Probably not. For me, this is not suitable for autumn. Personally, I prefer my autumn winter stuff. I prefer for the jackets to go a little bit longer, to be either hip or past. But for spring or summer in a linen, I would like that. Yeah, and then we've got Jumpsuit Central with a very interesting little crossover faux wrap detail and a hoodie. Sportswear, done good. And it looks like there's a pin that just sort of like keeps it from flopping apart. And then we've got a little bit more sportswear, which I thought was quite unusual for the October issue. Generally, I expect the January issue to be the one that tends to contain a lot more sportswear. But we have a lot of loungewear / sportswear, and we've got a hooded jumper over here. Nice thing about this hooded jumper, by the way, I've been making quite a lot of these hoods for my kids in the form of robes. And when they've got two seams over here, like a 3-piece hood, it fits and sits on the head so much better and so much more comfortable than the ones that have one. So I did make a note of this one so that I would be able to copy the hood pattern so that I can use it for the hoods that I'm making for my husband and for my son and for myself as well. And that's a good one. And then we've also got the good little hooded top for the girls here, getting everybody covered. And then we've got opportunities to see some Burda makes in the wild, but they're put in print, which is really cool because not everybody's on Instagram and not everybody's able to sort of like check out those. So when they put them in print, it's a really, really nice nod to the Burda community. And then we've got this really lovely big cozy style blanket coats, and it's got raglan sleeves. It reminds me of the Oslo coat, I think, and it's been done here in a beautiful autumnal fabric. So I think that one of the things that this issue was quite good at, it was quite good at reminding me of the things that I can enjoy and look forward to in autumn. And then we've got that dress pattern here with a little keyhole center front seam, some bust dots here. And personally, honestly speaking, I don't think you need to do these sort of cuffs. Number one, because they're very annoying to do. Number two, they don't actually fit in with everything else here. I think that you could get away with just using elasticated cuffs because this is just a simple top, simple neckline. So yeah, but this is the sort of thing to make your fabric shine. And I think this is easily adaptable to things like Ponte Romas or sweater knit fabrics as well. And if you didn't like the little keyhole, say for somebody like me, I don't like to have, little vents where blasts of cold air can get to my skin because I'm very precious about staying warm. You can always just put a contrasting little piece of fabric underneath and sew it up, and then that can be like a little design feature. And then we've got a vest, which I've noticed that vests have been very popular. All of the emails that I'm receiving from the places like your Marks and Spencers and your Boden and your Jules, they've got like this vest in there, and this one is extra long. Let's see what the Burda community makes of this. I'm not particularly enthused with the oversized things, right? So we've got those trousers again, which, I mean, for all of these lovely design lines that you go and put in, you use a busy fabric like that and you can't really see much. It's got a lovely silhouette though. I like the fact that it tapers in here just above the ankle and it's tapered in at the waist. And it's got some hip yoke pockets, which would be very practical because it's not so form-fitting. So it's a lovely silhouette, but I'm just not a big fan of all of the extra stitching that you would have to do. Honestly, I feel like I've matured so much because I now have a greater appreciation of simpler sewing lines, particularly when you don't have a lot of time to spend in the sewing room. And we have a simple top, a simple pullover here, made in like that teddy fleece fabric. So it's like really, really cuddly, and it's a super easy pattern to sew up. Instant sewing gratification is probably the word I would use to describe this particular issue in a nutshell. So we've got that top again with the high-low hem, and it's been made into a print fabric with some really gorgeous autumnal colors. They really are on point with the autumnal color fabrics that they use, the color palette. I feel like it was really beautiful. That jumpsuit has been cut into half, and we have a very interesting style of, I want to say a sweater. And this one, on the second perusal of this magazine, because I've had this magazine now for 4 days, but I haven't been able to do this because I've just been busy dealing with other stuff to do with the house. Upon my second perusal of this, I actually thought that this is something that I could make and use for when I go to the gym. But I'd probably make it in to make it really, really oversized so that it's easy for me to just pull on and pull off, particularly as we're heading towards winter, and the first 10-15 minutes of working out in the gym, it takes me a while to heat up, and so it would be lovely to have something like this that doesn't have the hardware of a zipper. So I was like, upon further perusal, this was quite interesting for me. Okay, and then we've got here a dress that's been made in a lovely jersey fabric, and at first this didn't catch my eye until I was browsing it again. I think the third time when I closely looked at the fabric, I thought that this could make a really nice autumnal dress if you can get the right sort of either French terry fabric or sweater fabric, or even a scuba crepe fabric, and particularly because of the way that they've styled it with the black tights and the black boots. You can see how this would just be really lovely, and you just let the fabric sing. Absolutely. So this was another one that I thought, oh, that's okay, but we have seen something similar recently, I would say. So there we go. And then we've got a tutorial on the vest over here, right? And we've got some belting details, some styling options, which are always lovely to see. And then on the Burda Plus sizes, right, we've got a top that's got a sleeve within a sleeve, because if one sleeve wasn't enough, you need a second sleeve with a tear in it. And then we have a top here that's got these massive side flounces created by the vents, and so you can kind of see it's meant to be a little bit on the oversized size. I'm a practical, pragmatic person personally, and things like this, they do not appeal to me, although I understand that for some people that's the sort of look they go for. Personally, I would just be just remove those and just cuff them in, because I honestly think that you should always be able to pull up your sleeves, to roll up your sleeves so that you can get to work. Yeah. And then over here, we've got a wrap dress, which I am absolutely 100% certain we have seen very, very recently. And it had a flounce added to it, but it's got the Dior dots here. And I think the last time that we saw something like this, it didn't have the flounce there. And I think it's a lovely silhouette and lovely style, because we have the princess seam lines along with the Dior dots. And then it's got an elasticated cuff. See, you can't go wrong with an elasticated cuff. Just do the same thing on here and you're sorted. And then I think that the cutest out of all of these for me was possibly this one. It's very, it reminds me of Tilly and the Buttons Cocoa Top, and that has got universal appeal. It's an incredibly popular pattern. It was popular when it got released, and it's still popular now. And that this reminded me of it, except again for those sleeves. I can't tell you enough how much those sleeves really get to me, but I really quite liked this with the pockets. I saw this and I was just reminded, I need to go make another cocoa dress. And I like how they've styled it with the boots and with the tights. It's like perfect autumnal styling, and really lovely fabric as well that they have used. So the nice thing now about Burda, unlike in the past where you could hardly find any of the fabrics that they have used, you can now actually buy the fabrics that they use on their Burda style website. They're a little bit pricey, but at least they are now available. It's not just some sort of like mythical thing that you will never find again. So I do like that. And then we've got a biker style jacket, which is instead of being cropped, it's a little bit longer and it's hip length. So it creates a more elongated silhouette. Beautiful. And then we have a very simple style looking foul wrap dress where you can use two contrasting fabrics here. And again, beautiful colors, beautiful autumnal colors. I think out of everything, this just really got me excited to wear autumn colors, to wear fall colors. And then we've got a simple pair of trousers with hip yoke waist, but the difference is we've got that collegiate stripe here, and fantastic photo shoot to really show off the stripe here. So unlike in other patterns that I've seen where the stripe is just a grosgrain ribbon that you add on it, this one is actually an integral part of it. You actually sew that strip down, which is pretty cool. And then we have the wrap dress converted into a top, like a wrap top in a lovely silk fabric, a polyester silky type fabric, and it looks lovely with the flounce. So that is the issue there. It's a really super quick browse through. As I said, there isn't really anything that I'm sort of like jumping, frothing at the mouth to want to sew up. I still have some things that I want to sew up from the last couple of issues. I've traced out a pattern for a skirt and for a shirt. I can't remember the pattern numbers. But I think in terms of the autumnal color palette, they get a big thumbs up for me. Anyway, tell me what you're going to be making from this issue. Did you like this issue? So very quickly, I do think that if you have the issue, the last month's issue, the 9/2022, I don't feel like you really need to have this. If you're one of those that buy them on an issue by issue basis, I feel like a lot of the styles in here, they are in the previous issue and the previous issue, if that makes sense. So between the August and the September issue, you'd probably be covered. But still, I am a completist. I must have all 12 issues of the year because I have the subscription. And it's got some lovely 60s sale that I have no doubt I will be going into at some point in my sewing future. And there is a lovely shift dress to make for my girls in there. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for sticking until the end. I really do appreciate you. If you haven't already, do subscribe and hit that like button, smash the like button. That really supports the channel and it helps me, and that would be really awesome. And so until I see you next time, lovelies, happy sewing. Bye.